All right, you're all set. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is the October 1st meeting of the Feedback Subcommittee of the Amherst Charter Review Committee. And I think we have, let me see, I nearly pulled up the agenda.
We need public comment, right?
Yes.
Oh, we have to check in first.
We need to, so we've got, everybody can hear, right? Marcus and
Yep.
Bernie and me.
Yes.
We need to designate a minutes taker. Who's up?
Probably me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll call it Marcus.
Yep.
And then if we have public comment, which it looks like we do. Sophie Rubin, let me see. How do I let?
I'll do it, Andy. Do you
Okay,
want to
great,
do you want to do any time limit?
3 minutes.
Hi,
Sophie. Welcome to the meeting.
thank you. Hello. Yeah, thank you to all of you on the committee. My name is Sophie Rubin. I am a new resident in Amherst, living at Cherry Hill Co-housing, which is located at 120 Pulpit Hill Road, with my spouse and baby. In my short time here, I've learned about the town's strong historical support for ranked choice voting and its attempts to adopt ranked choice voting for local elections. My understanding is that more than 7 years ago, the voters of Amherst approved a new charter that, among other things, created a ranked choice voting committee to recommend an implementation of RCV, and it required the town to adopt those recommendations, amended or not. The RCV committee produced its report, but then, rather than adopt the recommendations straight away via bylaw or charter amendment, the town made the ill-fated decision to try to adopt them via a home rule petition. The home rule petition route has unnecessarily subjected the town of Amherst to the will of the state legislature. From talking to those involved at the time, it seems it was a reasonable, if conservative, approach to implementing ranked choice voting. After all, if the town already voted for it at the ballot when they adopted the new charter in 2018, how controversial could it be? I think the 7 intervening years and multiple failed home rule bills have shown that that route should be sidelined in favor of a new method of implementation. The good news is that the town has a reasonable method to implement ranked choice voting now, ourselves, and without state legislative approval. This committee can recommend a charter amendment to adopt the recommendations of the ranked choice voting committee exactly as they appear in the home rule petition that the town has already approved and reapproved. We understand that the charter amendment process cannot be used to change the, quote, mode of election, but the mode would not change since the language in the charter already requires us to use ranked choice voting. If there are any doubts about the legal certainty of that claim, there is no penalty for filing the amendment anyway, since all amendments are reviewed by the State Attorney General's office. The worst thing they can say is no, and we're back to where we are tonight. There is no excuse not to try this easy, low-stakes method of implementing ranked choice voting. The text is sitting there ready and able to be adopted as a charter amendment. Please give it a shot. Give Amherst voters what we've been asking for over 7 years. Thank you.
Great, thank you. When you say the text is ready, you mean that the text is what was in the home rule amendment?
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. And
I just want to notice that I've logged in twice because I want to be able to read documents easily on the large monitor. So that's why you see me 2 times.
Great. Thank you to Sophie. I also see Andy Anderson, who I know is also a supporter of ranked choice voting. And I know that we have in our list of things to reiterate the approach that was called for in our Article 10, including the ranked choice voting piece. And we do have the commission's report. So we will consider that as we go along. Let's see. Do we have, I don't know that we have previous minutes that are ready to be approved. I haven't seen any if there are. Has anybody submitted any recently? I know we keep having these meetings and we gotta catch up on them.
I did send some in, but between this and the full committee, I'm now confused as to which minutes I've actually submitted. So I have to go back and look it up.
All right, yeah, let's plan to look at, I'll look as well, and let's try to figure out which ones we haven't submitted yet and get those in next time. So the main thing I think we wanted to do tonight is to review the committee, went through the voting on at 2 meetings, and we completed the voting. We went through it at our last meeting, and we submitted a list of which we called the green list of things that we wanted to get that were generally approved and that we wanted to get feedback from the Collins Center on. So either it was language or whether it was, have other places done this, or, do you have thoughts on the advisability, whatever. It varied from based on the level of specificity of what we were voting on. But since then we did identify a number of items that we haven't yet decided whether to go forward with or not. So that's the white list, basically. And we also received some additional feedback. So I went through and added the additional feedback into the document that we were using, and I can share that document, I believe. So this was our committee votes ranked and flagged, basically, and it's updated for today. So we have tabs for all the votes, our rankings of them, all the greens. This is what we submitted to the Collins Center, and this is updated to reflect what we sent to the Collins Center. All the ones that we had said we were not going to push forward. And then the list of ones that are neither approved or disapproved at this point. So that had a certain number of things on it. And then there were a number of other suggestions that had come in. So I've added them in the sections that they applied to. And I've indicated in this left column here, if they're new, they haven't been voted on. And so anything with an NV next to it is a new suggestion that came in largely from one of the 2 counselors who submitted responses to the survey since we did our voting. So I guess what I wanted to talk about was, is this what we should submit to the full committee to discuss, and get some resolution on? There's a number of these things we haven't voted on, so we would need to have a voting session on those, and then we'd need to then take the ones that pass muster and add them to the green list or a second green list and send that would be sort of a follow-up to our first list that would go to the Collins Center. I don't know. I don't know if you want to walk through each of these, or if we want to just sort of say, this is the next decision-making document for the full committee.
I mean, I feel that we should take this to the committee as is and, have a vote on it, just like we did with the rest of the things, right?
Yeah. So it seems like we should, and we also, a few of these things, they're on this list because they needed more discussion or they needed clarification. So I think we probably need to go through the whole list as a committee and say, which ones need clarification, which ones are new and need voting on, and then divide them up and get them taken care, get them moving through the process. So just to orient you to it, the white list, I think, is the one that that we would probably want to talk about with the committee. And it has the reducing the lame duck period. It has the change the council size, but it has new things about requiring a finance committee, moving the finance committee definition from section 5 to section 2.8, and adding some language about a variety of aspects of that, considering whether to make the town manager the appointing authority for resident members as opposed to the council. Something about president versus council appointments, the considering whether the full council should appoint the council representatives to other committees. In the executive branch, there's one on again, sort of how the members are appointed. The council members are appointed to various things like the Joint Capital Planning Committee and the BCG, which I think was raised by somebody else, but this is probably more specific. Something on the community, just language clarifying the community participation officer can be shared. And the Article 5, there's some things about, this was the one about moving the definition of the finance committee to section 2.8, since it's a committee of the council. Something about the BCG, this came up elsewhere as well in terms of whether to change or replace the BCG or not. That might be something that would take some discussion. Timing of the budget forum, clarifying the finance committee's budget role, and that the committee is authorized to request additional financial information from town, schools, or library. Inserting new wording about the JCPC and the flow of the budget from how the capital budget is handled. And then a specific proposal for changing the voter veto timelines and process. So those are things that most of them are pretty specific. A number of them have specific language that's offered, and so.
Well, some of them would also require a new charter commission.
Yeah, so that might be the kind of thing that we could send. We could say, yeah, that sounds great, but we need to send it to Collins, and Collins would come back and say, well, you need a charter commission or whatever. But
do we need Collins to tell us something obvious?
Well, I mean, we could also talk about it ourselves too. So
I mean, changing the number of counselors is you gotta have a new charter commission.
Yeah.
Changing the terms for the library and others, you need a new charter commission. So I'm not even sure why these are here. There's something.
These ones are left over. These ones are left over from before.
Yeah.
And I think it was partially it was because I think the council size one was there because it lumped increasing councilors with decreasing. Either way, we would need a charter commission. But if there was a desire to send a message about a smaller or larger, but we can discuss them. But I think we need to dispose of them somehow, and I don't think we can do it. We need to have the full committee. So
yeah, that's what I meant. I mean,
yeah,
but I think we could advise the full committee that some of these require a new charter commission, and therefore let's not take up our time in Collins's by sending them along, because they may be valid suggestions, but they don't fit what we're authorized to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things in here too. I mean, the appointment of the resident members by the town manager to a council committee, I think would probably not sit well joining the council. I think the councils want to be able to make their own appointments. And I think further down, when we get into one about who gets to serve on the JCPC or the budget coordinating committee, I think the council would like to have the opportunity to name one of their members rather than to have the manager select one.
Right.
So those are things we could talk about.
Yeah.
People also have to understand that the BCG and the JCPC are advisory in nature. They don't have any authority. And
Mhm.
they're creations of Amherst, not of
Yeah.
the general laws. So, you know, so we can make some comments along those lines. That, hopefully the committee will not, the committee as a whole will not move forward.
So the votes are listed here, and actually, in some cases where there was a rationale, it's included. Where there in the discussion, if there's specific wording suggested, that's included. And in some cases, it's fairly extensive. But so you know, I don't know that there's much for us to do here other than to say we agree that we should bring this to the full committee.
No, that
And-
sounds good. Yeah, yeah.
And then we need to vote on the ones that we haven't voted on yet, or
Right.
figure out some way of, you know,
Yeah, the full committee.
completing our consideration of the various items that come in.
I think we also need, for the ones that are, you know, beyond updating the charter, we just need to, you know, record that they've been submitted and prepare, you know, as part of our report, right? Like these were the areas that were proposed. There may be a, you know, worth looking into X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I mean that's sort of the part that is outside of our scope, but that we said we would do. That we heard.
yeah.
Other
No,
things
yeah.
we heard, and
Mhm.
you know, but if it's to the point of requiring a new charter commission, then that's a much.
Right. I mean, that's why I think we would group them, right? So we would say, you know, these particular rules have been suggested. These aspects call for a charter commission. These aspects call for change to state law or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
just so that people are aware of what was discussed, or not discussed, I mean submitted, so that we aren't losing anything in the mix.
Sure. Yeah, if we look, for example, at Article 4, the 5 or 6, I don't have the document in front of me, so I thank you. You scroll up nicely. That's fine. You look at the 5 things that are there in Article 4. 4 of them would require a new charter commission. The one that I'm hesitating on is the housing authority, because I'm not familiar at all with 121B, which governs the housing authority, and whether that position can simply be changed by.
But that could certainly be something that the Collins Center
Council,
or KV
Law
could tell us.
could tell. Yeah. But the other ones would all require a new charter commission.
Right, and I think that's why they were flagged. We ended up with this need expert advice, need expert advice, need expert advice, and then 5 flags and 3 no's. So it was a bit of a mess in this voting section, but.
Well, some of these enhance transparency in the town budget process. I mean, that's.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again,
what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, but I think it was more of a capturing the sentiment, right?
Yeah, I
it's
think
not about an actionable
right. It's not something
item. It's just let's capture the sentiment in the report, along with similar items that may actually be actionable. But yeah,
you Marcus, you're at a target. I mean, there's a number of these that are expressions of that you can't or wouldn't write into a charter, but there are things that need to be considered so that people understand what the budget process is, have a better idea of how decisions are made. You know, there are hundreds of hours of process that go into creating the budget. So how you illuminate all those is a challenge. But it's not
Yeah.
something you can write into the charter.
I mean, there's there is a process that's written into the charter, but it doesn't capture the full extent of it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of moving parts and lots of decisions that get made and literally hundreds of hours of work.
So that's, I think, the remaining pile of work for the committee to work on. We also have, I know Julian received a, I think the Collins Center has made it through about half of the green sheet that we sent them. And so they have comments on those that we can talk about at the upcoming meeting as well.
Have those, I haven't looked, have those been posted to the committee's webpage?
I don't know. Athena, do you know, have you seen those?
I haven't seen them.
Okay.
Because that's been a persistent criticism of mine. Information comes in and doesn't get distributed.
I got a copy of them. I haven't looked at them, but I got a copy because I was, Erica and I, as the outreach and feedback chairs, met with Julian and Pat to sort of orient her to what we had sent her. And she said she would send it in. So I believe it came in today. So why don't I forward that to Athena, and you can put it in the packet.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay. So I think that's pretty much it for us. I mean, we just needed to, I think we wanted to make sure that we were in sync about what to do with these things that had come in since we met, and that was the proposal. I think was just to integrate them into the white list, and so we've done that. And I think now we hand it off to the full committee.
And Andy, thank you for some great organizing work here, keeping track of all this stuff. The mind boggles at how many points.
Yeah, there's a few different tabs there, and then there's a couple of different spreadsheets. So, but I think it's all, and I think it's all. We've got an archive, and I think we've got it sorted. So hopefully, we can move on.
Just don't lose that file.
It's in a Google Drive, so
all right.
Well, Google cannot lose that file.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, but it's really just want to acknowledge that there's a huge amount of work that went into this. Thank you for.
Oh, thanks, Bernie. I appreciate that. It's been great having this group to sort stuff out and move it forward. So
I could say a lot, but I won't.
No, yeah.
You're on record, Marcus, so we're all on record. So.
Yes, exactly.
It's been a long process. So I don't know that we need to schedule a next meeting. I think hopefully our work is done here, at least until we produce something and get more feedback from the public on something actual. And then we can, if the committee wants to keep us going, we can talk about it then.
Well, I think we need to be open to providing some additional comments and feedback and direction to the committee as a whole. It's been a key piece of what we've done here. So I think we need to remain open to it. I'm unwilling to declare victory until I see what's come back from the Collins Center.
All right. Well, since they sent that document for the committee to be prepared, why not? Maybe I'll just send it to the full committee and Athena, so everybody at least has a time to look at it and knows that it exists before we meet tomorrow.
Please, yeah,
good idea.
That would be very helpful.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to make the meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
But I need to remember to tell Julian that.
Yeah.
Because I am umpiring in Wilbraham. So.
Okay. It's at least an hour away.
Close enough. Close enough, yeah.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Well, also, tomorrow is the end of Yom Kippur, so.
What's that?
Tomorrow is the end of Yom Kippur. So it actually would have been helpful if the meeting started a little bit later, but it is what it is.
Okay. Well, shall we, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And thank you, Athena.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see ya.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Bye.